Good morning. It's about 6:30 in the morning, and I do have a little surprise for you. We have not one, not two, but three Labradoodles. Three Labradoodles taking over my bed, taking over my pillow. Ask me how much sleep I got last night. Made myself a little macchiato. I just found these things and I've never used them, and for whatever reason felt very determined to do so in this moment. Oh, okay. Is that even right? Why am I doing this at 6 in the morning is the better question. I don't know. I mean, it just literally feels like there's something underneath your eye. Go figure. To answer your question, no. We did not get 2 additional dogs. We're dog sitting for Keith's sister. I like to call them the Doodle Bops. I think it makes it more fun. These are not hurting, but they're kind of uncomfortable. I guess I can't do the rest of my skincare. Why did I decide to do this? I think I literally look the same. Begging you, but your love is our baby. We keep our skin healthy, we keep it fresh, hydrated, hot pockets. What do I wear when it's freezing inside but hot outside? I think I'm gonna wear this. It's just like this flowy little shirt. This is from Target. Target's entire clothing section is 1000% popping off this season. I wish more than anything that I could stay in my sweats right now, but I know how this goes. If I keep on my sweats, I roll back into bed. Look at the dogs, they totally messed up my bed. Oh. There they go. So even when I don't feel like it, I throw on jeans or a shirt or just something. I just have to change because otherwise it's just mayhem and nothing gets done. Hello, hooligans. Are y'all playing? Oh my gosh. This is what it's like to have the wild child. Sadly, this is where I need to be. I turn on my pretty lights. Boom, and watch out. Ooh, ooh. There we go. Happy lamp, happy girl. Vitamins, blue light glasses, long day of editing. This video needs to go up in the next few hours or so, so wish me luck that I get this done on time because I'm running behind. Perfectionist problems.
A few moments later.
Oh my gosh, look at me. 4 hours later, 2 coffees later, about a quarter of a gallon. We're finished. Video just uploaded. I'm tired and hungry. I actually only have about 10 minutes right now. I'm about to hop onto what I hope is going to be the absolute best call of my entire life. One of my fellow YouTube friends, Jen Lauren, she is what I consider to be just the epitome of productive and put together. And she actually just quit her 9-to-5 job and is kind of focusing on a lot of different smaller jobs where that requires a whole lot of planning, a whole lot of organization. And I just reached out to her like, hey, how in the heck did you do this? Please, tips for your girl who has like 1 job and I'm struggling. So I'm gonna be speaking with her. Hopefully she's gonna help me out. And maybe this will even be a consultation thing that she'll be launching in the future. I'm freezing cold, but the only thing I wanna have right now is yogurt. Or do I want oatmeal? No, do I want oatmeal? I'm gonna do oatmeal. I'm too cold for this. I am too cold for yogurt. I do half a cup of oats, cup of water, and 1 scoop of protein. It took me a very long time to get myself to even like oatmeal, but the one thing that actually helped me fall in love with it was all of the toppings, of course, but also adding protein to the actual batter per se. I already know what the comments are gonna say, all right?
Taylor, how do you put frozen berries in your hot oatmeal? What the heck?
I know. To be honest with you, I don't really know how either, but it's delicious. Sometimes it's the only way I do it. And for the most part, frozen berries are the only berries that I actually have because if they're fresh, I eat them in a day. And if I don't eat them, then they go bad. Look at this. Are y'all getting into trouble? What's up with this? I don't trust you. I'm just kidding. This one's the wild one. This one is the silly one. And this is the old precious queen. Yes, you are. Oh, very sweet. All right, hooligans, disperse. Okay, sitting down Gonna zoom in, baby. I feel like everybody's on Zoom except for me because I never have to Zoom. So whenever I have to do it, I get very nervous. And where the heck is my link? Oh gosh, watch me have to like download it or something.
Hello?
Are you there?
Because I'm so messy in like my room and organization, but like with planning, I got this.
You wanna say hi?
Hi! Hi, Taylor's community. Organizing her life.
All right, are we surprised I just made a snack? I really want to go to the gym, but I also really just want to have a little bit of something to eat. I was trying to debate what's something light that I could have that's going to give me fuel for the gym, but it's not going to make me feel like I need to sit here and digest for another hour. So I went with rice cakes and peanut butter, which is a combo I haven't made in a while. It's like the easiest, most simplest thing, but normally I do avocado instead of peanut butter, but felt a little peanut buttery today. And I'm having what feels like an endless amount of dried mangoes, which is my walk by the pantry, grab and go snack. It's this whole dangerous bag from Costco. These are the unsweetened ones, thank goodness, because the sweetened ones, Taylor has a really bad history with. It didn't end well. It never started well, but it really didn't end well. All right, let's pick out a gym outfit. Normally, I don't like this activity, but it feels more fun with you. You know? You and I. Buddies. What's happening? And I actually just did all of this last night, so it looks nice and clean, doesn't it, Mimi? Alrighty, today is leg day, so that does impact the outfit, believe it or not. I'm sure you do. With leg day, I have to find the most durable leggings. I get very worried, very self-conscious if they're not going to do their job. I'm actually making a video about that soon, so stay tuned. This one right on top is actually one of my favorite sports bras. This is from the Dreamy Fit, which is my friend Janet Delmahina's brand. Something about this sports bra is just the most comfortable thing I've ever worn. Now, I could choose top first, but I'll probably choose bottom. I might wear these, which have a hole in them, but it's a rather small hole. And I've had this hole in them since one of the first times I ever wore them. These are the high-waisted flex leggings, I think, from Gymshark. And I like them too much that I won't get rid of them, and I'm just kind of cheap in that way. I don't know. And then we'll see how this top works. I'm not sure if these colors are going to go together, but this is a hand-me-down Lululemon top. This right here is the hole. This is like so embarrassing. I just remembered this. So I had one pair of my all-time favorite leggings. I'm gonna say high school, because if I say college, you're gonna laugh at me. Favorite leggings, high school, very similar. Something very, very small, something that you could kind of get away with. I used to use a marker and I would draw in the color of the leggings onto my skin so that if I was wearing the leggings out, you couldn't tell there was a hole. Is that the most embarrassing thing you've ever heard? Oh my gosh. I like literally am just now remembering that that was something I often did. I actively drew on my skin to cover up my hole. What? All right, let's grab our Bombas phone as I'm on TikTok and lifting shoes. All right, so I always said that I would never solely share an exact workout plan until I'm officially certified as a personal trainer. It was kind of something that I decided fairly early on because I wanted to feel just very sure of myself. I could just see myself creating something that I thought, you know, worked for me. It was my style of guide, etc., when in reality, maybe it was a really bad way to train. And I was erroneously promoting that without even recognizing it. I'm also not like this extraordinarily creative person when it comes to the gym. You know, sometimes you're scrolling through Instagram and you see these moves and you're just like, how in the heck did they come up with that? I'm a fan of the basics. Big fan of the basics over here. I'm big into compound movements, AKA I can only go to the gym for 30 minutes. I'm going to do these 3 exercises because I know they're going to give me the most return for my money. ROI business folks, but I still have to be able to show my workouts and what I do at the gym because it can sometimes come as a bit of inspiration or motivation, I guess I should say. When I'm really down and I just feel very unmotivated or I'm just kind of feeling like I'm going off my path in my fitness journey, sometimes I'll watch some of my favorite creators. I see them doing their workout routine and I get inspired to go to the gym and get my butt kicked on my own. For the most part, when I go to the gym, I can kind of gauge my way around from machine to machine, depending on what day of the week it is, what thing I want to focus on. I really do split my workouts up into either a lower body day or an upper body day, but really I also believe that you can do a lot of mixed training and that it's also very advantageous to do mixed training. So I do bits of both. Something I have always done is saved workouts that I love on my Instagram. So I have different bookmarked folders for different groups that I want to train. So let's say today is my leg day. I can go to my leg day folder if it loads, and I can see all these different workouts that I've saved from some of my favorite creators. And if I'm stuck, if I need inspiration, if I just want to follow their routine, I can turn to these and then get myself out of my rut. I've been really loving Alex Rice's content a lot lately. She's full of good information. She's a CPT herself, and she just posts the no BS type of workouts, which is 100% my vibe, and they totally kick my butt. That was good. That wasn't great, it was good. I was feeling very self-conscious because I was the only girl in the gym of two, what felt like confident gentlemen, I should say. I'm coming up with excuses now, but I felt self-conscious, so that was distracting me the entire time, which is so silly because I went in there to get a good workout in. My workout should not be dictated by anybody else's opinion of me. I know it feels like there are eyes on you when you're working out, but at the end of the day, it does not matter what in the heck they are doing. Even if I'm all in my head thinking that other people are thinking about me, my workout is not about them. They are not the ones that are going to benefit from me going to the gym. My anxiety is going to benefit, my endorphins are going to benefit, my mood is going to benefit, my body, my mentality, like the list goes on and on and on. I'm not exactly sure if that makes sense, but point being, you go to the gym for you. Freshly showered, freshly shampooed. It's kind of hard to tell, of course, when my hair is wet, but I've recently tried to revamp or really just bring about the Silver Fox look, the Dumbledore incarnate, the Draco Malfoy, the Khaleesi imitator. You know, that's the vibe I'm trying to go for. And when I was at the salon, my stylist recommended to me not a purple shampoo, which you know normally would be used for blondes, trying to make sure you don't have any brassiness. No, I was recommended a silver shampoo. Well, it's a purple shampoo meant for people with silver hair. But if that's not goals for the look I am trying to achieve. Also, the most expensive, best product I have ever used on my hair in my entire life. I went to Boston with my aunt, my sister, and my mom when I was a sophomore in high school. My aunt ran over to CVS to try and get me some detangler spray. Claims this is the only thing that she could find. Spent an absurd amount of money because of course it's CVS, so it's already convenience store prices. And ever since then, this has been the most beloved product I will probably ever use in my life. Also, in my head, Boston is just like up there with like Florence, Paris. Like it is just top tier kind of city for me. So maybe one day you'll be watching my vlogs while I am in Boston, MA. Who knows? I am leaving. I'm gonna go study for my personal training certification now. There's no concise way to say that. Study for my CPT? I suppose that sounds better. I digress. I'm gonna go study. I've made it a goal for myself to actually leave my apartment, drive to a coffee shop, a minimum of 2 times a week. And I schedule it in, I map it into my Google Calendar, just like Jen taught me. And it really is helpful because I'm making specific slots of time every single week that no matter what, I just need to drop everything that I'm doing and go study, because beforehand, just trying to study on a whim was not working for me. But now I can kind of plug in a really long study session and I can get a lot done because I'm focused on that thing and that thing only. Sorry, she's like going wild because Keith just came in the door and this TikTok is literally my life. Of course I'm glistening. Of course I look like a baby oil. I hate it. I hate it. These are basically all of the necessities that I bring with me. Of course, a computer because everything is online, which is a little bit annoying. I really wish it was just strictly out of a book. I think you can buy a book. I own the book, but it's totally different and it's so much easier on the computer. So I just stick to that. I bring headphones because I listen to binaural beats. I listen to concentration music because it really helps me get in the mode. I bring a jacket because I get cold just sitting there for forever. A wallet, pens, gum, handy dandy notebook. I'm a big note taker. I mean, that's why it takes me so long to study this, because I literally rewrite the book. It's ridiculous. This bag is kind of the worst, but it does the job, you know? Highlighters, blue light glasses, mask, and the absolute best pen ever. This is my little corner. I can't even talk because there's copyrighted music. Today I got myself food. Normally I only get a drink. And I basically just throw on headphones, zone the heck in, and get started. Hello, I've just returned. Sometimes I wish I could just knock all of that out in my apartment and I didn't have to leave and buy a coffee or buy food or whatever, but it really, really is so important for me to have that separation between studying and sleeping or work, whatever. Even before I had my little office in this apartment, when I was working from the coffee table in our living room, it was so hard for me. This looks crooked. It was so hard for me to focus on editing or on filming, whatever, because it felt like I was doing all of those things in the same place that I was trying to relax. So rule of thumb, just if you're able to have some sort of separation, go to a public library. It was kind of interesting when I first started studying. I kind of figured that I was immediately going to be jumping straight into exercise science, let's say. I immediately thought I'm going to be learning the dynamics of a squat and proper mobility exercises, just things that I thought, you know, would make sense for a CPT. However, it's actually really important to build yourself a foundation of understanding why people exercise, what's your motivation behind it, even things that can be prevented by exercise, movement, healthy diet, etc. And that's a huge chunk of the first few chapters in at least the NASM CPT program. And I'm not gonna really get into it because it's very, I guess, surface level. I mean, if you're a biology major or something and you're watching this, you're gonna be like, you are so wrong, Taylor. And it's not exactly that I would be wrong, it's more that there's so much more to each of these topics than I probably understand myself. But even, let's say, just having important understanding of common issues with your foot and your ankle, for example. If I'm a CPT and I'm watching somebody squat incorrectly and it's probably hurting their ankle, I need to be able to identify that, and I need to understand what would happen if it was harmed, it was injured, and how that might be able to be prevented. Reese is literally sitting on my ankles right here. And then it kind of got into a lot of these chapters on setting up your business as a CPT if you wanted to market yourself, if you are going to be working in a gym, if you have an online presence. Not saying that that is not helpful information, but I honestly, I wish I had the chutzpah to just skip past those chapters because none of that applies to me. At least in this moment in time, I have no passion to work at like a 24-hour fitness as a CPT or to set up my own online training program. If that's you, of course that's helpful. But because I'm doing this from an educational perspective solely, I wish I could have just like pressed fast forward, but it is at least fascinating to know, and it is kind of cool at least to understand how much more in-depth things are. One thing I would love to share is more about the psychological benefits of exercise. Now, I think this is fairly well known. I would say a majority of people have at least a basic understanding that exercise gives you endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. Essentially, we're going very broad here. And I think that's a lot easier said than done. If you're considering how exercise is preventative from a physical health perspective, it's also important to consider how it can be preventative, or at least a possible solution or a possible treatment option for mental health. A big caveat, CPTs are in no way certified to diagnose or to treat as a psychiatrist or a psychologist would. This is just kind of more, I guess, important knowledge to have. But as we've seen in so many studies, exercise has been linked to an increased better mood, more self-esteem, better body image, better sleep cycle, and even a decrease in anxiety and depression. All the pups. Everybody's waking up for their nap. I need to lower this. My feet were falling asleep. I'm like sitting on my thighs. From my own experience, exercise has been one of the sole treatments, I guess we could call it, or just sole things in my life that constantly keeps me grounded. If I'm just having a whole lot of anxiety, exercise has been tried and true for me, and it's something that is a lot easier said than done because also, if you have depression or if you have anxiety, you are a lot more likely to have a sedentary lifestyle. So I can sit here and I can tell you how much exercise has helped me with my anxiety and with my health journey, but it's such a personal thing. I know that it takes time. I know that it comes with a lot of practice and a lot of self-reassurance. And sometimes when you're in that mental fog, it is very, very hard to break and very hard to get out of. If you are not feeling like your best self, the last thing that you want to do sometimes is get up and get out of bed and work on yourself. But I promise you, when I tell you it has just been absolutely crucial for me and my journey, I can say that confidently now on the other side. When I'm in the heat of it, or when I'm feeling anxious, or when I was not my best self 2, 3, 4 years ago, it would have been so much easier said than done to just listen to somebody like me. But I just want you to know that I love you and I believe in you. And if you ever need professional help, always know that I have links in my description box just if you're ever needing more information. But know that help is a great thing. It is a strength. It is a way to show that you are working on yourself and you're wanting to take back your life. And I went from, showing you what I've learned in my notebook to sitting on my soapbox, but I don't ever want to speak out of line or to explain something without offering my context. I'm on my journey. I'm obviously still trying to learn with my CPT, and golly gee, I had told myself I was going to take the test by the end of summer. We're not positive that's gonna happen soon. But I think once life starts to slow down in the next month or two, I will really be able to just kind of tackle this head on. But thanks so much for watching. I'm still hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some food, but I love you all, and I will talk to you next week.